right under our noses. In our homes, cities and towns, on our sofas and laps, a quiet invasion has been taking place. The cat is now officially the most popular pet in the Western world. In Britain alone, it's reckoned there are 12 million cats. A vast, softly purring army, which it seems we are utterly powerless to resist. And yet, for thousands of years, no creature has divided us quite like this one. Are they regal, or simply cold and remote? Devoted pets, or as irrepressibly wild as their big cousins? How am I to capture the essence of this puzzling creature, one that so many adore and so many others find deeply unsettling? To do that, I'm turning cat detective. Unravelling this feline enigma everywhere, from the magical tombs of ancient Egypt.
How brilliant, it's all done by reflection.
To a bizarre medieval cat festival in Belgium. From the cats who formed a Chicago rock band to a cat in fancy dress.
Must be so strange being slightly deaf inside a pink rabbit hat.
I'll be tracking down the amazing big cats too, coming face to face with the lord of the Mayan jungle.
All the strength and majesty of these creatures, you can't believe how beautiful they are.
And armed to rasping tongue with the world's fastest cat.
I'm trying to talk normally with my arm being licked by a cheetah.
All to discover exactly why it is that cats divide us so much, and how one of nature's most efficient serial killers ended up as our favourite fireside companion. This is my journey into the world of the cat. My journey begins here, at home, and it begins with a confession. We don't have a cat. Well, not anymore. For 18 years we had a gorgeous cat called the Bee. When he died, I missed him more than I could ever have imagined. I still think about him every day. We even gave him a little gravestone.
People say that you choose a dog, but the cat chooses you. And people say that cats are aloof. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is that the Bee, our beloved cat, was much more than a pet. He was a friend. We loved him dearly. And, you know, I think he loved us dearly too.
And yet, I wonder if I ever really knew the Bee, any more than I know the neighbourhood cats that now wander through our garden. Unlike dogs, so much of what cats do is secret and nocturnal, mysterious. It helps to explain why some people find them so disturbing and why so many others find cats irresistible. But where does this deep divide spring from? First stop on my journey, a cat show in Milton Keynes, to find the true aficionados, the ones whose absolute faith in cats is beyond doubt. In the West, cat shows like this are the ultimate expression of our modern obsession with cats.
Hello, darling. Yes, sweetheart.
And you can see why. Was there ever an animal quite as beguiling as the cat?
Another Bengal, female.
Or as adorable as a kitten?
Called what?
Scylla.
Scylla.
Scylla Black.
I didn't think of that. Beautiful blue eyes and the slightly Barbara Streisand look. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Over the years, we've engineered around 100 breeds of cat. From green eyes to blue, from long hair to no hair whatsoever.
And what breed is she?
She's a Sphinx.
It's a Turkish fan.
It's a snow Bengal. This is a Singapore cat. Very bright, very lively.
But look around any cat show like this, and you'll notice something which has never changed. It's women, not men, who are least able to resist the lure of the cat. Hard to believe that a few hundred years ago, many of these women, including me, might have been burned at the stake, along with their cats. Because the terrible truth is, despite thousands of years of our deepest devotion to cats, there's a very dark side to our feline obsession. Thankfully, we don't torture witches and their cats anymore. But once every 3 years in Belgium, people gather to remember a time when we did. On a warm afternoon in the town of Ypres, their world-famous cat parade is now in full swing. It's all a bit surreal, yet so far at least, it seems pretty harmless. I can't resist joining in the fun. But courtesy of the town jester, the festival culminates in a rather shocking ritual. In Ypres 500 years ago, 9 lives wouldn't have been enough for even the sturdiest of cats. Europe had gone witch mad, and here in Belgium they took to slinging live witches' cats off the tops of high buildings. In fact, it wasn't until 1817 that this barbaric ritual was stopped. It's an unlikely thing to commemorate, but thankfully today the cats here are merely toys.
It's so strange because even though this is a sort of carnival day and everybody's having such fun and they're only toy cats, a knife of fear and pain goes through me. Just to think that a short time ago they were throwing real live cats out of here simply because of the superstition that cats contained evil spirits.
And it wasn't just the Belgians. In the Middle Ages, it was believed that Satan often took the form of a cat. And all over Europe, they were tortured and ritually killed in their thousands, often also burning alive the poor innocent women who owned them.
Was there ever a creature which divided us so much? For 1,000 years we persecuted the cat as an agent of the devil, and yet nowadays we go all gooey over them in cat shows.
For good or evil, we've long believed that cats have some sort of mysterious magical powers. But where on earth did that come from? Who owned the first cat? And when? And where? Egypt, the land of the pharaohs. It was here 3,500 years ago that wild African cats first shimmied and sashayed their way into human company. And even today there are few cities on the planet quite as comfortable with its cats as Cairo. They're everywhere, literally crawling out of every nook and cranny.
Once you tune your eye into look cat eyes, once you get your cat's eyes in, you can see little cats, tiny cats, slim cats, cats resting by mosques. These are the cats who are looking after the door, just one on each side.
These cats are mostly feral, homeless, unowned, just like their early ancestors. But for all their wildness, they're every bit as loved as the cats which pose for rosettes at shows. Perhaps even more so.
It's just incredible how many cats there are and how many people treated them so kindly. This charming gentleman here who's got a special paper bag full of meat so that he can look after them, and they're in beautiful condition, little dapperly patting away. It's just wonderful. The people don't kick them or hurt them, they just smile at them.
But in a largely Muslim city like Cairo, that's really no surprise. It's said the Prophet Muhammad had a real soft spot for cats. There's a story that when he blessed his own pet cat on the forehead, he left the mark of his fingers like a giant M, a mark that's been passed down through countless generations of cats. But when and where did cats come to be with us in the first place? And how did they weave their magic on us? To find out, I'm heading way back in time to the mysterious tombs of the dead in Thebes. Before they came to live with us, cats foraged for their living in the blistering heat of the Sahara Desert. Hardly surprising then that the rise of human civilization by the Nile seemed like easier pickings. But the early Egyptian farmers got something out of it too. Grain silos attracted vermin. The vermin attracted hungry African wild cats. And before long, a rather remarkable relationship had been formed. A relationship first recorded in an extraordinary location. 200 miles to the south of Cairo, on the west bank of the River Nile, lies Thebes, the city of the dead. It's here that the ancient Egyptians buried their pharaohs and their aristocrats in lavish tombs. Salam alaikum. Shukran. Thank you, shukran. Tombs adorned with murals celebrating their daily lives in intimate detail. This is the tomb of Nakht. He was the royal astronomer, and here's Nakht himself, looking very fine, quite a dark kind of copper-coloured body. And this is his beautiful wife, Tawi. And round here you can see that they've prepared, this is the beginning of the feasting. And here we can see them sitting at table, top part of the picture's gone, Nakht's lovely little brown feet, Tawi's little pale feet, and underneath Tawi's chair, the most adorable tabby cat eating a fish. Now in those days, cats always sat underneath women's chairs in all these tomb paintings. It's something to do with fertility and somehow links cats with women all the time. Tawi probably took a fish off the table and said, "Here, Opus," just dropped it down. It's extraordinary. Here is evidence 3,500 years old, showing how these wild desert scavengers had quite cheerfully taken up lodgings right under our feet.
Salam alaikum. How nice to see you. Salam. Can I see the picture of the cat? Huh?
Okay.
Yeah? Thank you. Oh.
I've been told that this tomb has more of the story.
Oh, look. There's a light. I'm going to just creep in here.
With a little mirror magic, all is revealed.
How brilliant. It's all done by reflection. Look at this. So this is a hunting scene. Now there's birds all flying up, chaps throwing sticks at them. And here's a gorgeous little cat. There is a story that the Egyptians used to use cats, maybe to flush out the birds, but they used to take them hunting with them. They've also seemed to have taken their tame rat with them, I don't know. Sometimes, of course, I think cats just take it upon themselves to follow human beings, so they might have just gone on his own accord. But I suspect that these might have been hunting cats. Who knows?
It's not difficult to connect the cats in these ancient murals with the cats in our own back gardens. Predatory, solitary, yet at the same time affectionate and gentle. And it's not that hard to understand what happened next either. Maybe it was the big eyes or the mesmerizing way cats move, but the Egyptians very quickly elevated the cat from beloved pet to divine god. A goddess, in fact, naturally. With both a serene face and a frightening face. A goddess whose cult would last over 2,000 years, longer so far than either Christianity or Islam. Today its worshippers are long gone, unless you count the ladies at cat shows. But here in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, I can still see the evidence of this mighty feline goddess with two faces.
This is the lioness goddess Sekhmet, and she is sort of the scarier side of cat divinities. And she's supposed to be powerful, she protects women, and she of course brings warfare and plague, if she so chooses. And she's got a Uraeus snake on her forehead.
So that could kill.
Yes, that would sort of be a don't mess with me kind of thing.
Yes.
And right now she's wearing his nice sheath dress and sitting down and being beautiful, but of course the implicit in it is because she is a lioness, she can strike out and kill.
And does she have an alter ego?
Yes, her alter ego is much nicer and calmer, sort of the cat goddess in a tamer way, and that's Bastet.
Bastet, the cat goddess. Statuesque, sublime, the quintessential cat.
Bastet was the symbol of love and beauty and music and basically self-indulgence, as you would expect from a cat. So this is the kind of goddess a lot of people would be having in their house shrines.
But look at these ones up here. These are just exquisite.
They're fabulous.
They're terribly lifelike. I've seen cats looking just like that. Do you like cats?
I do like cats. I'm allergic to them, but I like them.
In ancient Egypt, pet cats were adored. Whenever one died, the entire family would shave their heads in mourning. But not all cats were pets. There were other cats, bred to be offered to Bastet in the hope of earning her blessing. Unfortunately, to do that, they had to be dead.
When they went to the temple of Bastet, they made offerings of mummified cats. And the idea was that because a cat was taking the message, the goddess would pay much more attention to it.
And were these tame cats or cats around the temple? How did they get the cats for the mumming?
They probably bred them in catteries, and you would have just thousands and thousands of cats there. We have x-rayed them, so you get a sense of what's inside. And it's really quite surprising.
Look at that.
What is a bit awful about this particular one is the neck has been broken because they couldn't always wait for cats to die. So we have some cat mummies where their heads have been bashed in or they're being strangled.
Little cat.
That one's an interesting one because...
oh my God, what is it?
Well, you can see it's a jumble. When they didn't have enough cats, they would just gather up a few bones and mummify that and make it look beautiful, like a cat should be. So that's...
Extraordinary thing. This is sort of cat hamburger, if that doesn't sound too frightful. Do you know what I mean? It's just sort of chopped up and made into a shape.
That's very accurate, though, and it certainly looks that way.
What's the Egyptian word for cat?
Meow.
Is it?
Because it really is.
It sounds familiar, doesn't it? The cat with two faces. Cats as angels and cats as demons. Egypt is the home of the original prototype cat, the Mao, and whatever shape or pattern your pet cat is, it's descended from this ancient line of stripy tabby. In Egypt, the land where cats first walked amongst us, there are many who love them. But there are also others who are out to destroy them. Although in some countries Maos can fetch well over £1,000 a kitten, here in Cairo they still run wild in the streets. Unfortunately, some government officials think the only way to control them is by shooting and poisoning them. From a house in the Cairo suburbs, Maged Abdelrazek is on a mission to rescue them.
Oh, now look, this must be one of the newest arrivals.
Yes, this is our newest guest, Ida.
Ida,
You
how
wanna
old
hold
is
her?
she? Yes, I do.
She's about 7 weeks old.
Ida. 7 weeks old.
Yes.
And she was found?
She was found by
Yeah.
a lady when she was about 5 days old, and I had to take care of her.
You did this yourself. You fed her, what, with a little pen dropper?
Yes, like about 6 or 7 times a day.
Well, she's triumphant. She's quite got a little fat tummy.
She's overfed now.
But tell me, what makes a Mao cat
The Mao cats are the only naturally spotted cats.
with striped legs?
Yes, that's right.
So
Yes,
they're
that's
half a leopard
correct.
and half a tiger.
Yes, it's a little tiger. Can take her home.
Little
You wanna adopt
Ida.
her?
I do like anything.
I hope the Egyptian government finds a better way to look after these beautiful Mao cats. After all, this was the land where we first welcomed and then worshipped this strange, paradoxical creature. 3,500 years later, are we any less torn and divided by this humble beast? Is there anywhere that still accords cats the same adoration as Bastet? Or still harbours fears about their monstrous powers? To find out, I'm travelling to the other side of the world, to the country where the cat is very definitely the queen bee. For an animal that sleeps up to 20 hours a day, it's truly amazing the fuss cats have caused. We've bowed before them as gods, we've treated them as devils. Surely in the 21st century, those strange beliefs must be a thing of the past. Well, not quite. On the face of it, Tokyo is one of the world's most high-speed, high-tech cities. But look in virtually any shop or restaurant and you'll find the ancient spirit of Bastet, a little Japanese cat that's so famous it's been exported all over the world. Maneki Neko, the lucky cat, has one paw raised to beckon in good fortune. So for most Japanese, cats are lucky. In fact, they're now so besotted with the real thing, the demand for pet cats here is one of the fastest growing in the world. I've recruited local cat lover Mary Corbett to help me explore a city where the feline obsession knows no bounds and where no self-respecting cat should be caught naked. For the very best in feline haute couture, the Stella McCartney to Tokyo's finest cats, look no further than Takako Iwasa.
Takako, look at this.
Most cats in most places look overdressed wearing a collar and a bell, but not here. For Takako the cat tailor, cats aren't just lucky, they're the objects of adoration.
Takako, where do you get your inspiration from now for making, for instance, I see some extraordinary things. I see little cows' heads here and kind of frogs.
わからないんですけど、この右方向の上の宇宙からインスピレーションがやってくるんですよ。
She's not sure, but she receives something on the right side of her brain and it seems to come from outer space.
May we see some of your beautiful clothes on a cat?
This handsome, rather long-suffering Scottish foldier is Kotaro, clothes hanger for all Takako's boy cat costumes.
Yay.
Oh, you look fine, darling. You look quite unlike a cat. He's taken his hat off. Not like sort of Tom Kitten, he doesn't have to take his clothes off.
One of her most popular outfits is a frog.
Good cat. Oh, darling, good cat. God, he's turning into a mouse now. I wonder what this can do to a cat. Frog.
Mouse cat.
Oh, you look beautiful. We must never laugh at them, but look how fine he looks. He looks so beautiful.
似合うでしょ?
But who can resist a smile when the lovely Prin, short for princess, models her tiara?
ちゃんと頭に乗せてくれるんです。
Yeah, she doesn't know another cat that can wear a crown.
No.
Without securing it in place.
I never knew a cat would tolerate clothes. And I think Prin is remarkable, don't you think?
Yes.
Tranquil and very beautiful. Good girl. Must be so strange being slightly deaf inside a pink rabbit hat.
It's hard to imagine the wild street cats of Cairo dressed like this. And yet in both cities, cats are revered like nowhere else. Lucky Cat, Maneki Neko, like a modern Bastet, is everywhere, bringing blessings to the Japanese. And if you look closely, you'll notice a distinct similarity with another strangely familiar cat.
Oh, look, Mary, Hello Kitty.
Everybody knows Hello Kitty, and she's been chosen as new poster girl for Visit Japan campaign.
Oh, look, little kitty like this, with its own little kitty bag.
And Maneki Kitty?
Maneki Kitty, with the good luck.
Yes, thinking in the good luck.
Fishy Kitty.
Oh.
Strange, that.
Beanbag? Beanbags?
Beanbag.
Yes.
Oh, look, in a kimono kitty. Gosh, it's everywhere, isn't it? And look at all these up here. Hello Kitty, everything. Just toys and little purses, exercise books, pencils, pots, things, stuff, keyrings, dangly bits.
For children of all ages.
The strange thing is, something's going wrong with me because I really want this stuff now. I've actually got I've got quite a lot of thousands of...
And Hello Kitty's just the beginning. Thanks to the Lucky Cat, Maneki Neko, Japan is filled with a positive energy of cuddly, happy pussycat characters. Cat toys, cat robots, cat cartoons.
And is he based on Maneki Neko?
Yes, I understand he was inspired by the Maneki Neko, so he brings good fortune.
But much as it looks like a cartoon character, the real Maneki Neko is not a toy. Its roots are powerful and old, the stuff of samurai lords and storms. And it's a story which starts here in a quiet little Tokyo suburb, setting for the serene and entirely unexpected Zen Buddhist temple of Gotokuchi. The true guardian of the lucky cat legend is the head priest of Gotokuji.
今日は本当にお時間貴重なお時間ありがとうございます。こちらがラブレーさん、イギリスからお越しになりました。
In the grounds of the temple is a little shrine dedicated exclusively to Maneki Neko.
Shōfukuden, so this is the building that brings good fortune.
Oh, lovely. It's beautiful.
The real Holy of Holies, the Lucky Cat's altar, is hidden inside the little temple.
Look at this. Cats, cats, cats.
The head priest explains how the legend first began.
Over 350 years ago, this was an impoverished, very poor temple, and there was just one monk here, and he shared what little food he had with this cat. And he said to the cat, well, one day I know you will bring us great fortune. One day he heard a lot of noise outside the gate, and the cat was there beckoning these lords who were riding by on their horses. The Lord followed the cat's beckoning, and just as they came in, lightning struck the tree that they had been under.
So they would have been killed?
Yes, well, that's what the Lord thought, and he was very, very grateful for the cat having invited him in.
It's a fabulous story. You can see why the Japanese took Maneki Neko to their hearts, always in the hope it would save them from disaster too.
Look at these cats.
From all over Japan, pilgrims travel here to seek the blessing of the lucky cat.
So many, and some are big and some are tiny.
True devotees see the cat almost as a tiny incarnation of the Buddha, a kind of mini-god, really.
So worshippers would purchase these cats, and then they would pray that they may meet good people in their lives. When their wishes come true, they will bring the cat back to the temple and offer thanks. So these cats have performed great things for the families.
All good news, all happy wishes.
All happy wishes.
But even here, in a country besotted with its lucky cats, you can detect that familiar ancient legacy of fear and suspicion. Take the bullet train out of Tokyo and you enter an older, more traditional Japan, where sinister legends live on. Horrifying tales which speak of the Bake Neko, an evil monster cat. In an old farmhouse, curled up by the fire with a pair of rather unscary cats, legend expert Akiko Manabe tells the tale of an evil pet cat that can change its shape.
Once upon a time, there was a family. They loved a cat. Suddenly, that cat was missing, and wife's behavior became very strange. She ate in her own room. She told the family, don't look into my room when I'm eating. But the husband peeked into her room. She was eating the dead mice, dead birds, dead fish. When the wife turned her face to the husband, her face became the face of the cat. It turned out the cat had killed her and ate her up and pretended to be the wife.
How awful. Can you imagine being that husband looking through and it's like, and it looks up and you think it's your wife and it's got a cat face.
Right.
Is it always women cats turn into women?
Most of the cases are women because the people think women are more cruel than men.
Catty.
Yeah.
It seems there's such a contrast between the happy, smiling cat who brings you love and luck and this darker side, the Bake Neko cat which turns into a monster. It seems that even today we're not quite sure if cats are good or evil. I know what I think, but who knows?
Back in the West today, cats are so spoiled, it's easy to forget what a rotten time they've had of it in the past, and what ridiculous superstitions we've linked to them.
We all all know about witches' cats and black cats crossing your path, but that's just the beginning. Back in the old days, when they were routinely flinging cats out of belfries, they used to say that a cat could suck the breath out of a sleeping baby, and that to eat the warm brains of a cat would make you invisible. They said that planting a live cat in your garden would keep down the weeds. We've forgotten now, but for hundreds of years, we used to be terribly cruel to cats.
Ever since the Pharaohs, we've been unable to agree about cats. And we still can't really decide whether to love them or loathe them. How could something so innocent and beautiful be so divisive? One man who thinks he knows the answer is top feline expert Roger Tabor.
Roger, we've seen cats treated as gods and goddesses. We've also seen them demonised and treated as the devil. Such extreme feelings to the cat. Why is that?
It's crazy, isn't it? But in reality, they're just the flip sides of the same coin. We recognise that there is something strange about them, and at the same time, you recognise they've deified it. It's always the otherworldliness. And what is the otherworldliness about the cat?
Yes.
Well, when you look at them, you've got a package. It's a nocturnal, lone hunter. When you're dealing with an animal which is not a pack animal, then you're dealing with an animal that doesn't like being told what to do. With the dog, you are either the boss or you are bossed. But with the cat, it thinks it through for itself. It's much more independent. So we've always been a bit wary, a bit distant. We understand that they are somehow other, somehow wild, somehow strange.
The solitary hunter lurking within. The irrepressibly wild feline heart.